Hey everybody, what's going on? It's All You Know 1994 bringing you another video. I hope you're all having a great day today. And in today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. As you can see here, I have a tier maker brought up on my internet browser. And what we're doing with this tier maker list thing is I'm going to be rating all the factions in XDefiant from S all the way down to F. S being the best and F being the worst. And the reason behind me doing this video in the first place is now that we have gotten the last content patch for XDefiant, and we know we're not going to be getting any more of new factions or anything like that, I figured now would be a really good time to kind of give my opinion on where I feel all the factions in the game stand and what my general thoughts are on what they were able to do in this game and what they don't do very well in this game at the same time, and etc. etc. So we got 10 factions here. I had to use a placeholder image for the Omega Force because they obviously don't have one on the internet that I could find, and then just used the generic Assassin's Creed one. But this is also going to be the first upload of 2 videos going up today, because I won't be uploading on Wednesday. I'm going to be taking the day off for New Year's Day, just like I did last week for Christmas. So yeah, there'll be 2 videos going up today. This is the first of 2. So the criteria that I'm going to be following for this tier list is going to be basically going off of their ultra abilities and their activated abilities. I may kind of incorporate their passive trait in a few of them. I don't know all of the passive traits by heart, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But without further ado, let's get started. So the first one we got here is we got Omega Force. Now this is one of the newer ones that came out with the Season 3 content patch, and they're the ones that basically have the Shuriken and then basically the charge EMP move. Where I feel these guys stand, and just based off of what they're capable of doing, I think the Shuriken is very, very niche and it's not very good. I mean, you can be good with it, obviously, but I think the charge EMP move definitely is a lot better. It's very good for pushing into an objective and stunning people off the objective and killing them. So, where I feel these guys sit, just off of the minimal experience I've had with them, I would probably I'm going to put them at a solid B tier. And the reason for that is I just feel like their Ultra is very risk reward because it drains your health while you're using it as well. And if you're not very accurate with it, you can be missing and you can eventually kill yourself by using it. But when you do hit with it, it melts. So I don't think they're necessarily at an A tier because their Ultra and their one ability are very good, but then that second ability, the Shuriken, really just doesn't really hit for me. It kind of, if you're accurate, it can be good, but otherwise, I feel like there's better options than using that. So I'm going to put them at a B tier for this one. Next, we have the Assassins from Assassin's Creed. These guys are probably one of the better ones in the game now, I think. The Ultimate, or the Ultra, I'm sorry, is basically... I don't really know how to explain it. I don't even know the name of it, to be completely honest with you. I don't know a lot of the names of these Ultras and stuff. You'll have to forgive me for that as well. But basically, I think their Ultra is pretty good. It's like a teleport automatic melee, which good players can utilize it very well. And then they also have like a kind of like a echelon sonar goggles move where it acts as like an intel suit and a sonar goggle combination where it'll leave like a red trail behind them and you can follow them and get some pretty easy kills. It has a pretty good timer too. I think it's like 30 seconds. And then their other one, they have like a smoke bomb which disorientates and basically makes it impossible for your opponent to shoot back while they're disorientated. Based off of that, I think these guys are really good. They're kind of like a mixed bag. They're like a very offensive slash stealth unit, which makes obvious sense. They're assassins from Assassin's Creed. So if I had to put them in a tier, I would probably say these guys are an A tier for me. And the reason I say that is because their abilities, while are more on the stealth side and kind of a one-off thing, except for their Ultra, which is really good, I think that being said, their Ultra really just pushes them above Omega Force because it's more useful and you're not really risking much. I mean, you can really, with them being the stealth unit that they are, you can really get behind them, and you can combine it with their sonar goggle esque ability. So having the trail of where people are going behind them, plus having that ultra popped, is just, it's a very good combo. So I'm going to keep them at S tier. They're not quite S tier for me, but I think they're a very good solid A tier. And then next we have Libertad. These guys automatically are going to be an A tier, S tier for me. And the reason I say that is, as somebody that doesn't usually play a healer role in a lot of hero shooters like Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, these guys, they do the healing role as good as you can possibly do. Their ultimate ability, or ultra, I keep saying ultimate, it's ultra, is basically a area of effect heal, and it increases everybody's health from, let's say, because I know that the Phantoms are a different health value, but we'll just not use them in this example. You'll have base 100 health as normal health pool. With this area of effect ultra popped, you can place it on an objective, like say in domination, to capture an objective, and everybody has 200 health, and it rapidly restores your health while you're taking damage. And as long as you don't have a lot of people shooting at you, you're basically tanking so much damage all at once. And then they have the little handheld healing thing. I think it's El Bovita is the little handheld one, which is another smaller area of effect heal that you can pop in a pinch and restore your health and your teammates' health within that small little radius of effect. And then they have the health pack that you can throw down on an objective too. And it just, again, the health and healing that these guys can give you is top notch. And most hero shooters, healers are very good, but I just feel like these guys really push that limit with all three of their healing abilities. They're very, very good to use in objective based modes. And if you have a good healer on your team, you guys can do really well. So Libertad S tier for sure. Moving on, next to we have DedSec. And these guys probably would have been a lot higher on my tier list before this last content patch. But seeing as they basically lost their most OP ability in the Spider Bot, if for those that don't know, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows because everybody was talking about the Spider Bot for the longest time on this game. Before the Spider Bot, you could throw down and it would run and track an opponent, and it would face hug them and stun them at the same time. And the only way, if it worked, to get this Spider Bot off was you either had a teammate shoot it off, or you look down at the ground and it would bug out and it would shoot off your face as well. With that being changed with the content patch to basically turn it into an EMP that follows the user around, I definitely feel like that caused DedSec to fall from the upper tiers for me. The hacking ability is still very good though. It's very useful, so it kind of counteracts the loss that it got with the Spider Bot change. And now the hacking is more important than the Spider Bot, in my opinion, because basically the EMP grenade can do what the Spider Bot is now intended to do a lot better and a lot quicker. So, and their ultimate is basically a mass EMP that disables everybody's ultras and whatnot. So, again, the Spider Bot kind of dropped this faction down from where it would be probably before. So I'm going to probably put these guys at a B tier now. With that Spider Bot nerf, that was basically their identity. And seeing as an EMP grenade can basically do that Spider Bot's ability now better and quicker, I just don't see them being any higher than an A tier or a B tier at this point. Not to say that they're completely useless now, because like I said, the hacking ability is still very good. It's still very useful in many situations, and then the ultimate is just still very useful. So I'm going to keep them at a solid B tier, currently where they stand. But moving on to the Echelon, these guys, they got hit so hard throughout XDefiant's lifespan with nerfs to their intel suit, which definitely made sense because for those that played early on into XDefiant, the Intel suit was the most abused and overused faction ability in the game. I don't remember the specific numbers that they changed it, but they basically made it to the point where Intel suit was like very, very bad. It could still ping and like show people, but they'd completely nerfed it into the ground to where it was like a second that you see it now. So unless you're paying attention to the radar, the Intel suit really just doesn't hold much weight anymore, and that's why I said earlier that the Assassin's Creed version of this is a lot better now because it leaves a trail behind them. Whereas with the Intel suit now, really just doesn't have a lot going for it anymore. So that's what I think about the Intel suit for the Echelon faction. And then the other one is the Invisible Ghillie suit, which is kind of a one-off thing. It's a niche thing. It's not very useful for the team. It's more of a use it for yourself to get a free kill. But and then their ultimate is obviously very, very good. The 5.7 one-shot pistol. If you're very accurate with that weapon, you can get some crazy feats with that thing. So that's why I still feel like Echelon still holds up well in today's meta. It's just unfortunate that the Intel suit, while it did need to be changed, I feel they overly nerfed it into the ground to where basically the highlight part of the Intel suit really isn't useful anymore, but the using the radar to see the dots is probably what a lot of people would benefit from using the Intel suit now. Where I would put this on a tier list, um, probably I would put these guys. I think I'm going to keep them in an A because I still think that they're very useful in today's meta. It's just the Intel suit really took a hard nerf, and that's just the unfortunate part. Next, we have Phantoms. These guys, I'm going to put them at A. Only because their Blitz Shield is absolutely useless for most people. I know that I see people out there use it sometimes, and they can be successful with it, but that Blitz Shield is very useless, in my opinion. The Barrier Shield, or the Mag Barrier, still very good, although it can be damaged quite easy now and destroyed quite easy now with bullets and EMP grenades, and it can be hacked very easily by DedSec hacking ability. Their ultimate, the Aegis, is still very good, albeit it can take damage from EMP grenades and bullets very well as well, but very good for pushing into an objective with that ultimate late game and just holding it and having your teammates all in there, that bubble with you, and just being able to capture objectives. Still a very good faction to use for objective game modes, mainly using Mag Barrier with the Aegis when you get the ultimate eventually during the game. Still a very popular choice. And then they also have the increased health, which used to be 120, but they did drop it down to 110. But still having that extra 10 pips of health, still very clutch in most situations, and still seeing a lot of people rocking Phantom for that extra health. Now, this next one, the Highwaymen, I don't know a lot about this faction because I never really had the chance to use it. But from what I know, their passive ability, basically, the more you get kills, the quicker your reloads get, and a bunch of other stuff. And their turret is still very well used in this game currently today. I don't see a lot of people using the rocket launcher, or the noob tube, whatever you want to call it, the grenade launcher. But the turret is still very useful to hold a choke point or hold a lane, so you can go and put that down on one lane and then run off another direction and get some kills somewhere else. Albeit it can be destroyed pretty easily with bullets and an EMP grenade, but other than that, I think these guys are still solid in this meta. So I'm gonna probably put these guys, with just my minimal knowledge, I'm gonna put them at a B tier because I feel like they can hold their own in an objective setting with their turret, and then a person that is really good at getting kills can definitely utilize their passive ability. So I still think that they're a B tier. This one might be a little controversial, though. I feel like the GSK definitely was good during Season 1 because of its ability to be able to tank a little bit more damage with headshots. But as far as their abilities go, you have the Razor Wire, which is good for like holding off a lane. but it's very easy to destroy. And then you have the ADS system, which is very good. This is why it's kind of controversial for me. I think their trophy system is very, very good for objective game modes. So I'm gonna put these guys at a B tier as well, only because I feel like they kind of fell off after season one in favor of other factions, and their ultimate ability is still very good with the flash riot shield. But again, it's a very niche situation and can be easily countered if you gang up on them and you can work your way around the back of the shield. Very easy to counter these guys. Next, we have the cleaners. These guys, they definitely fell off for me throughout the course of the game. A lot of people, I don't really see them using them as much anymore. There's still people that do use them, but I don't see a lot of it anymore. So they have the firebomb, obviously, which is still the panic knife of XDefiant, if you ask me. And then they have the incinerator drone, which is it's good if you can get good lines of sight with it, because for the most part it doesn't usually kill unless you get like a very good situation to where it will guarantee at least one kill. And then obviously the flamethrower is good for pushing into an objective, kind of like the Aegis, where it's kind of that last minute resort where you'll push into like a B objective or into an occupy zone, and it'll pretty much one shot anybody that gets hit by it. As far as it goes, though, like I said, these guys really kind of fell off for a lot of people, and this is probably going to be extremely controversial. I'm going to put these guys in D tier. Not to say that they're completely useless and they're bad. I just personally think because of the lack of use for a lot of players and with them anymore, obviously there's still a group of people that use them, but I just don't see a lot of people using cleaners anymore because there's just so many better options, so many better factions that can do the objective role better or just the offensive role better than these guys can. Really, the only thing that these guys got going for them is the firebomb, which is a one-hit panic knife. But other than that, it's a very situational faction, and if you can find those situations to utilize their abilities, whether it be the incinerator drone, the firebomb, or the flamethrower, you can do well with them. But as far as I'm concerned, and in my opinion, I feel like these guys definitely fell off from the beginning of the game to now. And then the final faction we have here, I just made a video on these guys, so it goes without saying where these guys are probably going to go. We have the Wolves from Tom Clancy's Breakpoint. That is a easy S tier for me. I definitely think these guys, just like Libertad, do the objective role so well that it's just so hard for me to put these guys any lower than S tier. You have the Stolas drone that you can throw onto any objective or any lane for that matter, and it'll hover in that area and, if not kill somebody, just give somebody enough of a distraction to not push that area until they take care of it, which obviously it can be shot down very easily and EMP'd very easily, like most abilities in this game. But the Stolas drone, which is basically an aerial turret, for those that don't know, it does its job well. The Legion drone is a very, very good ability to throw down on like a B objective or even in zone control, for example, when you're trying to take a zone. You just, as you're trying to capture it, you just throw it on a corner, and the second that drone picks up an enemy, it's usually game over for that enemy. And then their ultimate ability, the drone swarm, easily my favorite ultra ability in the game, ultimate ability, whatever you want to call it. Acts as basically an area of effect thing, kind of like the Libertad's ultimate, but instead of it being a defensive thing, it's a very aggressive ultimate. And if an enemy player decides to come into that area of effect, which expands over time, obviously to a certain limit that's not ever ending, it'll basically kill them unless they can get out of it in time. It's a very guaranteed kill. And these guys, like I said, they just do the objective role very well compared to other factions in this game. And I genuinely think that if we would have had more time with this game, these guys would probably be top 3 in the game right now, behind maybe Libertad and maybe Phantoms. I really like their aerial turret drone ability, very good for objective aggressive play. Their Legion drone ability, very good for holding objectives and kind of just really throwing enemies off guard because it's very hard for people to actually see it on the ground until it's too late. And then in most cases, unless they hear it go off and they can run away in time, they're dead. It's a guaranteed kill. And then their Ultra ability, like I said, just a very aggressive area of effect Ultra that does a very good job, that can get many kills if the enemy team isn't paying attention. But yeah, that's my tier list, guys. I think that's it's an opinionated thing for the most part, but I do think that it's a very good tier list. I think it's a very fair tier list. Definitely go ahead and leave a comment down below what you think these factions, where they belong in a tier list, or what your opinions are on these factions. But like I said, guys, this is the first video of 2 that are going to be going up today, because I will not be posting on New Year's Day, which is Wednesday. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like and a comment down below. I greatly appreciate it. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and leave me a dislike. It doesn't hurt my feelings. And this is All You Know 1994. Peace out.